Hello and welcome back to the Champions League Challenge on Football Manager 2022. And before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to show you something. So you can see my kits here. They are new. I've found via a video by Second Yellow Card a brilliant piece of software which allows you to just click a few buttons and generate different kits with different sponsors for the clubs that you're managing and even the clubs that you aren't managing, just to get a bit more of an in-depth experience on the game. So I'll leave a link to the video from Second Yellow Card and a link to the Discord to be able to download the software in the description down below. This is the kits that I've got created. I'm not going to say I created because it's just literally a software that creates it, but these are the kits that I've created for Steaua Bucharest. It's with their current sponsor, because the current sponsor in real life just signed a new deal in 2021 for 2 years, in August 2021. So we'll keep GetsBet as our shirt sponsors until next August in game, and then we'll do a random generation of a kit sponsor and a kit manufacturer. I've also had them generated for the other sides in the league. These are completely random sponsors, random kit manufacturers. Might not even be relevant to the nation. It's just they have tons of sponsor packs and kits that are available on the software. It's called Kit Basher. It's a great piece of software. I would highly recommend it if you're interested in all this stuff. You see, like, I could have changed the sponsor for this one because it doesn't seem to go with that top. It's kind of difficult to see, but I just picked random ones, and these are the ones we're going with. Some of the kits are quite nice, to be fair. I quite like the Rockstar sponsored one. But after all that kit talk out of the way, it's time to talk transfers. And you'll remember last episode, we were in for the loan signing of Andrei Moldovan from Academica Clinceni, a 19-year-old centre-back. We have confirmed that loan signing. He's with us until the end of the season. A 2-star rated centre-back. He's got decent heading. His tackling's okay and his marking's getting better. We needed more depth in this position. He's not the only player that's been brought in this position either since the last episode, but more on that in a second. We've sold 3 players, the first of which is Cesar Georgikianu. He has moved to CSM Foxani for £2,000. Wasn't going to get played much this season. His dribbling and finishing and first touch are all very nice on 13, but he just wasn't going to be good enough for us. We've got plenty of striking options in our squad, so I thought we might as well cash in on him. Got a couple of grand and got his wages off the books. Not that they were that high, but it's helped us pave the way for a few more signings. But not this one, because this is another loanee on loan from Mioveni. Also, you might realise that I've actually got faces for most of the players now. I've downloaded the face packs finally for the game, and yeah, most players have faces. I need to download some new gen face packs as well, because they don't have any faces, or some of them don't have any faces. Well, all of them don't have any faces, apart from, I don't know what I'm saying here. Claudio Donos basically doesn't have a face, so I need to download a face for him, basically. But Ionut Bene has been brought in on loan from Mioveni. He's being brought in as a more depth at centre-back. You can play at left-back as well, though, which would be useful if we didn't have a lot of players that already played there. He's a 3-star rated centre-back. You can see his heading, marking and tackling are miles above Andrei Moldovan's ability. He's experienced as well, so hopefully he'll bring some of that experience to us. And now I'm doing this in date order as to when it happened, if you're wondering why we're switching from incomings to outgoings, as Florin Razdan has finally left us. He's gone to UTA Arad, who are a fellow Liga 1 side in Romania. And he's been sold for £5,750. It's the most we could get for him. Nobody was making an offer when I was offering him to clubs with higher value than that. And he was on about £400 and something per week, I think. So it was nice to get his wages off the books as well. And then the final incoming, it's another centre-back, Vincenzo Di Somma, 25-year-old Italian. We've sort of broke the bank a little bit with this guy. He came in on a free transfer, but his wages, you will see there, are £1,000 per week. I think he is our highest earner, but he is a very good centre-back, at least in terms of his star rating and his heading, marking and tackling attributes, as well as his physical attributes, to be fair. He looks like a very, very good player. And then one final sale that we made, Dragos Nikolai, who I didn't even know about. He'd been out on loan to somebody last season. He came back and he wasn't really up to scratch. So offered him out to clubs. Unirea Slobozia came in with a £5,000 offer, and the rest is history. He's at Unirea Slobozia now, and we got an extra 5k. But that's not really helped our financial situation. We're still 400 grand in the red. We have a transfer budget of £3,000. We've got a couple of hundred left to spend in the wage budget, so it's not really anything. We're not really going to be able to get any more players in, and we need to look at somehow balancing the books a little bit. Possibly a good league finish would do us wonders this season. It still probably wouldn't be, it still definitely wouldn't be enough to get out of the trouble that we're in, but it would go a little bit towards that. Now for the matches since the last episode. We've played 5 games off camera, the first of which was away from home against Chindia Targovishte, and we were very, very lucky to come away with this one with a point and a 0-0 draw. Tomaniga was outstanding in goal. I feel like if this was last season, Raul Balbarel would have probably made a few mistakes and we would have ended up losing this one quite handsomely. The stats don't really tell the story of the game. We were dominated pretty much from start to finish. We then had another away game against FC Voluntari, and we went 2-0 down after just about 11 minutes of the game, and that forced me into a tactical change. I switched to route 1. That's what allowed us to get our goal back thanks to Passionel, but then Fulop with a long-range goal to seal the points and the game for FC Voluntari in the last minute of the game. And to be honest, I was quite pleased with this result, especially after going 2 goals down so soon. I thought it was going to be an absolute rout, but we managed to keep them to just the 3 goals. We then had another tough game. It was at home this time, though, against CFR Cluj, one of the better sides in Romania generally, and they showed that we were very fortunate to only lose by a goal. We should have been demolished here. I'm not sure who to thank for that, because there's not really very high ratings amongst any of the side. Wallace, perhaps, on a 6.8. He might have been key in keeping it at just 1 goal to CFR Cluj, but still, it's a sort of game that we expect to lose, and we just have to make sure we don't lose too heavily. We then faced Academica Clincini away from home and picked up our only win of the 5 games that we played off camera. We started with a new formation. It's the 5-2-3 formation that you can see here. We went 1-0 up thanks to Chipurliu on the 52nd minute. Claudio Donos was unbelievable after coming on off the bench just before half time because of an injury to Stefan Dragici, and he's earned his place, to be fair, in the starting 11 for the next few games, I would say, with this performance here. Nice 3-0, a solid victory, and we looked pretty good value for it. And then we've just had a game against FC Arges and unfortunately lost 1-0 in that one. It was a penalty from Barbew, which was the winning goal. Again, we probably deserved to get beaten in this one. A bit of disappointing news heading into this one, though. Nicolas Buell has picked up an injury. He picked it up just before this game against FC Arges. It's a sprained knee ligaments. He's been out for 11 days so far. He's expected to return between 2 to 5 weeks. Disappointing. We do have adequate cover in centre midfield. Whether they're as good as him, though, that remains to be seen. So this is what the league table looks like just before we get into our first game against last season's champions, Universitatea Craiova. We are currently 11th on 7 points. They are 6th on 10 points, but they've got a game in hand on us. We're doing okay. 2 wins out of our first 6 games is pretty good for a side that's expected to get relegated. You can see where the best performing of the 3 sides that were promoted last season, Concordia Chiajna and Politehnica Timisoara, both in the bottom 2 and yet to win so far this season. Another side that's yet to win is our local rivals, FCSB. They've actually sacked their manager and seemingly replaced him with Cosmin Olarui. They are not having a good time of it so far this season. Knocked out of the Europa Conference League at the 3rd qualifying round stage, and without a win all season so far. We, of course, play them the game after the one we're about to play. So this could be a good time to play them, to be honest. We just have to hope that we get some positive momentum in the game against Universitatea Craiova, who, like I said, are 6th. So this is the lineup, tactic and formation that we're going with for today's first game against Universitatea Craiova. There's very high likelihood that we'll change the tactic, at least, away from my custom-made Steaua tactic to maybe a route one or a fluid counter-attacking one if it looks like we're going to have the worst of the game, which I imagine we probably will. I just always like to start positive because sometimes you catch the other team on the back foot and you can get an early goal. That's my thinking for starting with my very positive tactic that I've created. The lineup that we've got today, Tom and Liga is, of course, in goal. We've got a back three in Ionut Benea, Wallace and Vincenzo Di Somma, so two of our summer signings in the back three. We're playing with a libero, a central defender, and a no-nonsense centre-back as well. Right wing-back is Razvan Onea, who seems to be improving in that position. I'm about to say he's still young, but he's not. He's 24, but his original rating was half a star for that, so he's either improving or the scouts and coaches have just changed their mind on how good he is in that position. And then Nick is at left wing back. We've got Julian Bedea alongside Stefan Pasionel in central midfield today, with Claudio Donos on the right wing, Dragos Huiban on the left wing, and Bogdan Ciperliu up front. I feel like we need to change some of these defend duties to support. I think I had them on defend when we were... Actually, I don't know why they're on defend, because they never should have been on defend. They should have been on support the whole time. I was going to say when we changed the tactic in the last match, but that's not the case. Another bonus of that Kit Basher software that I mentioned is they do the 3D kits too. So you can see here they're wearing the actual kits that are on their club info page. As we seem to have a very early opportunity here. It's Donos with the ball. Donos has scored. He's been on fire this season so far. It's his third goal of the season. And we have done exactly what I said. The reason for playing my positive tactic was we've come out the blocks firing within the first 30 seconds, I think. Ciperliu with a beautiful through ball. Donos, nice few touches, and then just smashes that past the keeper after 16 seconds of the game. Is that a new record for fastest goal? I'm not sure what our fastest goal was before then. But it's a free kick now for Universitatea. It's blocked by the wall, but the keeper needs to come and collect. Bernier heads it away, and I think there might be a penalty. Shimpani seems to think he's been pushed. It's going to go to VAR. And it's been given. Not sure who was at fault for that from our side, but the penalty to Universitatea Craiova. It's Bick, the Biro, to take it, and he has... I'm trying to think of a pun related to Biros. Couldn't think of one. He's inked that straight into the net. That's terrible. That's awful. Keeper went the right way as well. He was so close to getting it. So that lead lasts all of 5 minutes. Corner late in the first half. Ciperliu to take it. To Di Somma in there, but he didn't get his head to it. It was the defender that got there first. But Huiban has won the first ball back. And now it's Nick on the left-hand side. Can he get a ball in? He's going to play it back to Huiban instead. Huiban back to Nick. And those two just passing it amongst themselves. Plays it out to Pasionel. Now Bedea, his central midfield partner. Donos. There's man out wide in Onea. He plays the ball back to Donos. And Donos with the finish! Claudio Donos is having a breakthrough season so far. That's his 4th goal of the season. 4 goals in the last 3 games, I think it is. It was a beautiful build-up play. Donos playing it out wide to the right back, making a nice little run. Onea knew what he was doing, and it's just an excellent finish from Donos, and we get the lead back just before half-time. Ionut Benea is struggling a bit out there. He's on a 6.2. He's picked up a yellow card, and there was a little notification that told me that he stubbed his toe as well. So nothing's going right for him today, so we're going to take him off and bring on Andre Moldovan. So it's a loanee coming on for another loanee. In fact, it wasn't Benea that stubbed his toe. It was Razvan Onea who stubbed his toe, but he's having a good game, so I don't really want to take him off. Of course, we do have Kalantari who can come on for him if need be, or even Dragici might be able to play there. With Kalantari's just returning from injury, so he's still a high risk of injury at the minute. Elsewhere on the field, I'm not too concerned with anyone, so we'll just leave it at that one change at centre-back as we head into the second half. Free kick. Balassa is unmarked at the front post and doesn't get a shot on target, thankfully. Now, it looks like Bogdan Ciperliu has picked up a bit of a knock. He's got a potential hand injury, and he's apparently hampered by it. So, to make sure he doesn't make that any worse, we're going to take him off. And we're going to bring on Pasionel. He's not had many opportunities so far this season to play, but he is a very good player. He scored quite a few times for us last season, despite not starting many games. Elsewhere, Nick is concerning me at left wing back. We've got 24 minutes to go. I think Kalantari should be able to manage that. He's not great at wing back, which is an issue. I wasn't planning on playing this formation in pre-season, hence why I didn't sign any wing backs. But we'll just have to make do with what we've got. And that's all our substitutions made now, so we just have to hope that there's no further need for any changes as Craiova have the ball. It's Nouvier. Ball very far up the pitch to Kimpanu. He pulls it back to the Biro, and that's a good clearance from Moldovan. The Biro didn't really have a very good effort there. His ink cartridge was a bit empty. Nistor with a free kick, headed away first time by Moldovan, but Nistor's going to get another opportunity unless we can win the ball back. Nistor running down the right-hand side, headed away by Disoma that time, but it's come back straight to Craiova, pinning us back, I should say. Got pens on the brain after the Biro scoring a goal. It's Nistor, forward to Bolingi. Bolingi with the shot, and that's pulled just wide from him. Tomaniga probably wasn't going to get there if that was on target. And there is the full-time whistle. It's a victory. We've beaten last season's champions, 2 goals from Claudio Danos, consigning them to defeat. And Claudio Danos is very quickly becoming undroppable in this side so far this season. We're up to 8th with that victory on 10 points level with Universitatea Craiova, who are currently in 6th. And next up, we have FCSB in the big derby. And that very early goal from Claudio Danos in the last game is a new record for the fastest goal scored in a match. 15 seconds they've awarded it as, despite the fact I think it crossed the line on 16 seconds, but I'm not going to argue with it. So here we go. It's time for what is hopefully going to be years of deep-rooted rivalry between these two sides. It's Steaua Bucharest against FCSB. So much drama surrounding both sides. They are well below us in the league. They're still yet to pick up a victory this season. 3 draws out of 6 games. We, of course, have now won 3 games, and a victory today could see us climb as high as 4th in the table. But let's not count our eggs before they've hatched, or let's not count our chickens even. We are making a couple of changes for today's game. Andre Moldovan impressed me after coming off the bench in the last game, so Ionut Bernea has dropped to the bench, and then Paul Papachi is in for Nick at left wing back, because I wasn't too impressed with him last game either. He's not even on the bench today. That's how unimpressed I was with Nick. I mean, it's not fair to be too unimpressed with him, because he is, I think, playing out of position. Although not as much as Razvan Onea, and Onea had a great game. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Claudio Danos is, of course, playing. One thing I haven't done is check that everyone's all right in terms of their risk of injury. I never like to play them if their risk of injury is high, generally, unless I have no other option. But everyone seems to be okay. So it's a pretty similar side to the one that has just beaten last season's champions. We are at home, and it's not going to be a sellout. But our attendances so far this season have been around the 5,000 mark. Ignore all that red there. That doesn't matter. They lack tactical familiarity, but it's fine. They've been playing okay. The stadium holds about 28,500. Apparently there's going to be 17,500 fans, which is, as I said, we've been getting 5,000 attendances. So that would be a vast increase and hopefully more money. But I think our tickets are being sold for like £1 a game, which doesn't really help in terms of the finances. And it definitely looks like a capacity crowd today. This is the fullest I've seen our stadium. The Stau is rocking today. We're both not in great form. We have, of course, won more recently than they have, and hopefully that counts for something. On the plus side, they can't overtake us if they do beat us today. Corner kick for FCSB. It's Popescu to take it. Disoma wins the ball and heads it away, but Danos can't get it back. And Tanas has the shot, and it's somehow found the back of the net. Florin Tanas with the first goal of the game, his second of the season for FCSB, and their crowd behind the goal goes wild. I think the goalkeeper his vision was being blocked by our defenders there. Disoma with a brilliant defensive header, but Danos just asleep there. Should have really won that ball. Keeper wasn't really being blocked by any of our players, possibly one of the opposition players, but a bit disappointing from Tomaniga there. Both of our wingers are performing quite poorly today, so we're gonna keep faith in Denos, move him to left wing, take Huiban off, and bring on Stefan Dragici at right wing. We've also got Moldovan at the back. He's on a great rating, a 7.1. He's our best performing player today, but his body language is saying he's a bit angry and in danger of being booked. So I might have to do a personal team talk to him. I've just encouraged the team at halftime to try and do this for the fans. Hopefully that will work. I'll keep the tactic the same for the first little bit of the second half, see how we go. I will try and calm Moldovan down. That seems to have demotivated him, so I probably shouldn't have done that. Well, that's just great, isn't it? Okay, we don't seem to be improving at all, so we're going to change something up. Not sure what yet. We are going to move Denos to being a shadow striker, Chaperliu to being a target forward on support, and then I think we're going to take Chaperliu off and bring on Vasil Buhăescu. And we'll see how that formation change goes. We've got a throw in deep in their half. It's Badea. Back to the throw and take Onea. Dragici's at the back post. It's punched away by Vlad. Passinel picks it up on the edge of the box. Finds Wallace, the defender. Wallace with a shot. And Wallace with a stunning goal from long range. Might have just saved the point for us. In front of the FCSB fans who are all sat down. What a moment. Passinel picked it up on the edge of the box. Played it to the centre-back Wallace, who was up for the throw-in. And he just unleashes a hell of a shot to beat the keeper, and we are level at 1-1. Can we go on to win this now? I do want to make another change. We've got one more left to make, but there is another highlight. Moldovan with the ball forward towards Denos, headed away and headed on further by Popescu, but Onea is there for us. Now Badea, back to Onea. Moldovan finds Passinel. Moldovan with a long ball. He keeps looking for that long ball over the top. It's not worked yet, but Badea's got it now. Looking for Passinel, but that's intercepted, and it could be a counter-attacking opportunity for FCSB. There's a man over on the right. Simeon is that man. He's got the ball on the right-hand side now. We need to make sure he doesn't get a ball into the box. He pulls it back to George. George pulls it across the face of goal. No one there for FCSB, but Radunovic has it on the left. Ball into the box, and that's going to be a penalty, isn't it? He's just been pushed down. Florinel Coleman has just been fouled, and FCSB are going to have a penalty. It's going to go to VAR, but I'm pretty sure they're going to give it. Yeah. Vincenzo de Sommer with just some dreadful defending. Tanas with the penalty, and he's sent the keeper the wrong way. So we'll make a change now then, shall we? Quite a few players on yellow cards now. Denos is still on a 6.3, so not really doing too great. Passinel's looking anxious, but we're going to bring him on anyway. We'll try to give him a team talk to change how he's feeling. I'm going to say I've got faith in him. It's motivated him. So let's see if Passinel can do anything for us. We'll switch to attacking as well. Why not? It's a local derby. Demand more. Pause. 2.5 minutes left. Very attacking. Why not? It's not doing anything. It's not done anything. It's a defeat. We've lost at home to our local rivals. It's very disappointing. A 2-1 defeat. How has it come to this? Well, I know how it's come to this. De Sommer giving away that penalty. We could have happily just left with the draw, but he just had to push him to the ground. And that disappointing result leaves us sat in 9th on 10 points, still 4 points clear of FCSB, who do move up the table to 13th, with us giving them their first victory of the season. But give me 9th at the end of the season, I'll be more than happy with that. So looking ahead to the next episode, I think we're going to have some cup action in the next episode, but we'll come back for the Sepsi game. They are currently top of the table, so it'll be a difficult challenge against them. And then we'll have the 5th round of the Romanian Cup just before we break for the Qatar World Cup. I'm not sure when the other rounds of the Romanian Cup are going to be played, whether they're going to be before that break or not. Because remember last season, they were all sort of together. Okay, so we play the 5th round and then the next set of fixtures on until after the Qatar World Cup has finished. So we're back for those 2 games, which means we've got the 6 games off camera to play against Farrell Constanta, Gazmetan Medias, FC Botasani, UTA Arad, and fellow promoted side last season, Concordia triage. Now, hopefully we are still in a pretty decent position in Liga 1 when I come back to you. But that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to get all my content when it comes out. Hit the notification bell to stay notified, and I'll see you next time.